that fucking sound, man.
Yo! Whoa! Fuck. Okay. All right.
Oh, fuck. Oh my god.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh no.
Oh god.
Yeah, that was fucked up. That was very fucked up. Damn! Why? Oh, shit. Good evening, campers, streamers, and babysitters, and welcome back to another Disturbing Movies list, where this time we are in search of 5 films that are more disturbing than one of the granddaddies of disturbing cinema itself, Cannibal Holocaust. You know, just that title alone really conjures some unpleasant imagery in your head, does it not? I think it's very similar to like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where it's like you hear that title and you just think, boy, I am in for some gory, bloody stuff. And as to where you might be surprised watching TCM, where that one actually doesn't have a ton of blood, Cannibal Holocaust, it delivers on its title. It keeps its promise. Look, you really don't need me to sit here and tell you why Cannibal Holocaust is just one of those movies that I think the controversy surrounding the film is probably more well known than the actual movie itself. Back when this movie came out in 1980, this thing was banned in over 31 different countries. I mean, you just couldn't get this thing played in places, primarily due to the fact that there was real-life animal violence on screen in this one, as well as some very questionable scenes with some actors who may or may not have been told correctly what was going to happen to them. I'll just leave it at that. But things got so bad for this movie that they actually had to bring the director into court. I know this is not the first movie to do that, but it is certainly a reoccurring theme in the disturbing subgenre. But enough of that, let's get to what you guys came here for. Yes, you want to know what putrid, awful, disgusting movies I was able to dredge up from the depths of the internet to entertain you all today. Oh, man, okay. That wasn't as bad. We've seen a lot worse on here. Seen a lot worse. Okay. I found some movies, certainly some that may be a little bit more well-known, but certainly they pack a punch. It's going to get pretty dark. It's going to get real upsetting. It's going to get real gross. So prepare yourselves, grab your barf bags, grab your blankets, hell, maybe even a bottle of water to keep yourself hydrated because, yeah, these next 5 movies are no joke. So let's not delay any further. Let's hop into the list. Kicking things off in my number 5 spot, I had to go with Cannibal Holocaust, sister film, cousin film, however you want to relate this movie to Cannibal Holocaust. You know, you'll get the point. But we're talking, of course, of 1981's Cannibal Ferox. 3 friends embark on a trip through the Amazon jungle to disprove cannibalism, where they meet a pair of fugitive drug smugglers forcing a vicious cannibal tribe to harvest cocaine. Like I said, 1981's Cannibal Ferox is very much a sibling to Cannibal Holocaust. I mean, they come out 1 year apart from each other. They are also, well, I should say they both have in common of being banned across many different countries. And funny enough, there are actually plenty of casts and crew names and major actors in this film who were in Cannibal Holocaust. So yeah, there's a lot of crossover appeal here if you're a fan of that film. But when I set out to make this list, I mean, looking at all my other options, I really had a ton that I could go with. But this really just captures Cannibal Holocaust. This one is probably the next direct comparison that I would give whenever I'm talking about movies that line up near that first film. And I mean that through just about everything. The only true element that changes, other than a couple of story beats here, is the fact that, this film is shot like a normal movie.
Shut us up in a bamboo cage, stuck in a stinking mud hole, infested with 3-inch-long bloodsuckers. We had dozens all over us in minutes.
It's presented in the standard, film format. But when it comes to Cannibal Holocaust, we know that's half mockumentary, half kind of, found footage film. And in a way, I think that almost adds to the terror for Cannibal Holocaust, but for some of us more seasoned, horror film watchers, it may kind of take away from it, because there's something very oddly just more upsetting about some of the stuff we see in this movie. For instance, yes, just as the title implies, this is a cannibal film, so there's lots of cannibalism. There's also quite a bit, actually 2 major instances of castration, which was just a bunch of fun. Oh, damn! Why? Oh, shit. But don't worry, ladies, you are not safe either. Yes, there's, of course, just like the other film, a lot of, essay, a lot of violence just against people, but also primarily women in a few sections, primarily young women. There's this really awkward scene between one of the fugitives, Mike, and one of our trio that we're following through the Amazon here, Pat. Those two kind of hook up with each other, and Mike kind of convinces her that the tribe's people are not people, they're playthings for them, and they basically force themselves both with violence and obviously with sexually onto this little girl, and it's a very gross and very deeply upsetting scene. But just like Mike lost his member, I don't have a rhyme for that, but Pat, she gets stabbed through the boob, right through her breast with a big old meat hook. And, they decide after they stab her through both her breasts that they'll just hang her up and basically just let her swing there. It was pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like that very much. I was not, I was none too pleased with how, convincing some of the stabbing was.
Yeah! Sheesh, bro!
Ooh. Hanging her up by her titty meat. And unfortunately, one of the biggest sins, the most infamous sin that I think Cannibal Holocaust carries with it, does cross over here into Cannibal Ferox with a lot of animal abuse. But the big one, and the one that really sets this film over the edge for me, is there's this wild boar, this kind of like juvenile wild boar. It's certainly not full grown in any capacity, that is allegedly chased one of our characters into like a pit of spikes. And the boar is down there trying to get to her, and she's trying to get to it, and Mike hops down there and he stabs the boar, but they actually killed the boar for the film. We watch him stab it several times and disembowel it. It is really fucked up.
Ah, yeah. Oh, God. Yikes. Oh, mama. Oh, Jesus. All right. Yeah.
All right.
Fuck.
All over.
Yeah, that was f***ed up. That was very f***ed up. But yeah, Cannibal Ferox certainly deserves a spot on this list, so putting it at number 5 made the most sense here for me. If you have not checked out this film and you're a fan of Cannibal Holocaust, like I said, this is very much a sibling film to it, so I think you will enjoy the experience, animal deaths and essay aside. The biggest thing I can say that differs this from something like Cannibal Holocaust, although some of the animal deaths were real in that film, this is based on real murders. And of course, I'm talking about 2019's The Golden Glove. A serial killer strikes fear in the hearts of residents of Hamburg during the early 1970s. The Golden Glove was something that just upon reading the title, I had figured, man, this has got to be like a sports movie, right? This is like about a boxer who's like going crazy. No, it's not that. It's actually a film about a serial killer, and a serial killer who likes to go to this bar called The Golden Glove. And what does he like to do there? Well, he likes to drink, pick up prostitutes, take them back to his apartment, and then yeah, he kills them. Yep. If I had to compare this experience to anything, it comes very close to the same feeling I had when I watched, like, The House That Jack Built. It's just a very methodical, very deep look at a very psychologically damaged human being who has completely lost their mind and has let themselves go to their darkest, deepest, most vile desires. That only compounded when you really look into this case and you find out that, yeah, this guy was literally murdered, like I think it was like 4 prostitutes in the same little town, living in this apartment between the years 1970 and I believe 1975. He would chop them up and put them in this crawl space. And yeah, that's exactly what you see happen in the movie, except the real ticket here, I think what sets this over the edge and just gives it this honest, brutal savagery that just really leaves you unsettled. It's the fact that none of the kills in this movie feel like movie deaths.
It's corn syrup, guys. Corn syrup and latex. Warm, blood-flavored corn syrup.
There's nothing fast about anything you see in The Golden Glove here. Everything takes forever and is grueling and very, very, I guess you'd say, realistic in its depiction. I mean, just the apartment, the set design of this movie alone was giving me flashbacks to Phantomorphos, where I'm sitting there just like just reminiscing about how gross that movie made me feel. This has a very similar touch to that, where I can almost smell the apartment, I can smell the disgusting scenes, and it just really just made me very, very upset in my tummy. God damn, alright, whoa. Thankfully that ended. Oh god, he was just going hard. Oh my god! You knew that was gonna be gross. Ugh. Key moments for me here, I mean, basically just every murder that he does on screen here with these prostitutes. I mean, starting off from just one, he basically bashes their head into this table for, I think it's like nearly a solid 3 minutes of just nonstop watching him smash this woman's head until it's just this bloody pulp. Nice. Yo. Yo, she's dead, dude. Oh, god damn. All right, whoa. Thankfully that ended. And then later on, another woman that he basically attacks after, you know, like hiring her for her services, but I guess not for that. He ends up punching her and being really aggressive. So when he's knocked out after, you know, having his way with her, she gets up and takes this, I guess, like spicy mustard or something from the fridge and ends up rubbing it on his dingleberries, and yeah, that pisses him off right good. And yeah, he ends up choking her and then stabbing her with a ton of bottles. Like, he's breaking bottles across her face and just going again and again. And it's just savage as guys. Like, it just goes on and on. And you just got to sit there and take it. And I mean, beyond just the debauchery and the grossness there's just like also shades of pedophilia for a few of our younger characters that are kind of on the outskirts of this story. There's two very unsettling moments there that I won't go into depth on, but if you watch the film, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's one of those things where it's just the little gross, icky cherry on top of what was already a pretty upsetting film, and certainly one that I would definitely consider, all facts, all things included, a very, very disturbing movie, and certainly something that I can comfortably say is more disturbing than Cannibal Holocaust. Moving on from German true crime, we're going to be taking a look now at the Japanese Yakuza. Yes, this is a film that absolutely just traumatized people upon its release. I think there was a film festival where people actually were reported to have been passing out during some of the scenes in this. This would also be a movie that I think undoubtedly shot director Takashi Miike all the way up to the top as far as just experimental, crazy, underground, violent filmmaking goes. And of course, I'm talking about none other than 2001's Ichi the Killer. As sadomasochistic Yakuza enforcer Kakihara searches for his missing boss, he comes across Ichi, a repressed and psychotic killer who may be able to inflict levels of pain that Kakihara has only dreamed of achieving. Listen, for those of you who have seen this movie, I mean, where do I start? Ichi the Killer is just full of surprises. I'm a big fan of Takashi Miike. I love a lot of his work. He's got a lot of really great eyes and lenses when it comes to horror and also just real world dramas. And he is one of those filmmakers that just will kind of bounce around to do a little bit of everything. But whatever he does, it'll always have just a little tinge of, well, I guess the little bit of the ultra violence. Ichi the Killer being absolutely one of his crown jewels, with this movie just being so wildly over the top, yet so just demonstrably mean-spirited and just disgusting. Like, you will go from moments in this movie where you're basically watching this man abuse this woman and force himself on her. It's like, it's a very brutal, grim sequence. And then you'll jump from that to this dude who we know as Ichi running around in like this weird costume with knives on his feet, just slicing people like hot dog style down the middle. I really don't know what the secret sauce is here with Ichi the Killer. So if you can kind of guide me into what you think makes this movie as special as I feel it is, let me know down below, because I definitely need to explore this one further. But cutting to the chase here and just hopping right into it, I mean, we got to talk about the tempura oil scene. Kind of our lead character here, Kakihara, is basically given the task of torturing and getting some information out of one of their rivals. And, well, Kakihara being a sadomasochist, he doesn't really know where the line is for most normal people when it comes to pain and pleasure. And he ends up getting some Hellraiser inspirations and taking some hooks and hanging this man up by his back skin, his butt cheek skin, his leg skin. Like, he just hangs him up there and just basically dangles him about 3 or 4 feet off the ground. He starts stabbing him with this like poker thing just through the cheeks and through the tongue. And it all concludes with him taking a hot, boiling pot of oil and just dumping it all over his back.
Oh, dude, Jesus Christ.
And guys, it is such a shockingly brutal and expertly crafted just special effects sequence. I mean, nothing like seems fake really when it comes to the third degree, second degree burns as they kind of pop up. Granted, you only see it for a couple of seconds, but it's enough to really paint just the worst kind of picture in your brain. Beyond that, we've got a ton of stuff in here when it comes to just flat out people hunting down people, like murdering them with basically nothing left up to the imagination as to how, why, or when you'd want to dismember or dispatch somebody. Like, I really think that they kind of kill everybody in almost every conceivable way you can think of in this movie. This is shockingly probably one of the most violent films I've ever experienced.
Ah! Damn, he had a kid too, bro. Oh! This kid's right there! No way! Oh, god damn.
I put this thing right up there with like Dead Alive and like Terrifier 3 on just the amount of blood that is on screen in this movie. It's absolutely absurd, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, it's got a lot of really gross stuff, like a lot of SA, a lot of stuff that normally really turns me off to these kind of movies, but it also just has, again, this really weird, avant-garde, artsy, free spirit about it that just, like, I don't know, I had so much, like, disgusted fun watching Ichi the Killer, so it absolutely deserved a spot on this list. Now, where Ichi the Killer is this hyper-stylized, ultra-violent, dark humor, kind of hodgepodge of just craziness and, at times, disgusted joy, the next film coming in at our number 3 spot here, it is none of that. We're stripping all of the excitement and weirdness away, and we're only left with the depressing awfulness. And, of course, I'm talking about 2004's Concrete. A high school girl is kidnapped by a gang lord and held captive for several months. Over this time, she is repeatedly beaten, raped, and tortured. Now, I know we've been having a lot of fun with a couple of these picks so far. They've been really out there and strange and kind of all over the place, but Concrete here is definitely probably the dark horse of these 5 movies here. This one, there's nothing subtle about it. There's nothing really stylized in any way. There's nothing that kind of necessarily makes this feel like a movie at times. It's very strange in its presentation. We kind of follow this group, this gang of boys who are going around Japan, just basically any opportunity they get to inflict harm or chaos onto somebody, they're going to do it. And unfortunately, one of them, the main one that we kind of follow here, gets a fixation for one of the girls they find on her way home from school. And they abduct her. Probably the next 45 to 50 minutes, we are subjected to watching this gang of young, I guess you'd call them men, young boys. I think they're not any older than, 16, 17, but they essentially brutalize this girl. Not only do they beat her within an inch of her life, they go as far as to violate her in every conceivable fashion, with a scene that they take random objects from around their apartment and they just start sticking it into her private areas. And it is it's very hard to watch. Just the sound design alone, as she is just being subjected to all of these boys just pushing stuff inside her just deeper and deeper, completely, just disregarding the fact that there's a human being here and that they're, doing irreparable damage, not only psychologically, but physically to her.
Oh no. Oh my god.
But I mean, they just go as far as to set her vagina on fire.
Oh god. Oh, that sound, sound, man. No. This movie. This movie. This movie.
Like, I'm not even making light of that. They actually do it, and it's just such an upsetting fucking experience. Like, Concrete is a movie that that it put hair on my chest for sure. It's one that I'm gonna remember, unfortunately, for a very long time. I think I respect the people for making it. I respect the fact that, again, they went out and did this when this is normally a story that wouldn't be told. But what I also have to live with is the knowledge that even after all these events transpire and inevitably the boys do get caught, they only went to jail for, I think it was like the most was 8 years for one of them. And then they were out and about, and one of them even reoffended. And that is just, it's unbelievable. Because when you see what they subject her to, how they handle it after she succumbs to all of this torture, I just don't know how anybody could find any enjoyment in this, like in these acts. Like, it is brutal. This is certainly one of those movies that I won't soon forget. Right. Sorry. Back to it. Coming in our final spot, ladies and gentlemen, at number 1. Yes, the movie that I can easily say is very much more disturbing than a Cannibal Holocaust. I mean, I've got no lead up. It's Tumbling Doll of Flesh from 1998. Kana tries to end her starring role in an abusive porno. For her, the end comes only after she's been reduced to a tumbling doll of flesh. Yeah, I pretty much knew from the first 5 minutes of this that this was not going to be a movie for me.
Oh god.
Tumbling Doll of Flesh has been something that I've been harassed with in the comments here. People have recommended this time and time again. They put it up there with things like the Guinea Pig films, Lucifer Valentine movies, August Underground. It all makes sense. That all tracks. These movies, man, these are the ones that when people ask me, once you get past the true crime stuff, once you get past really all the the things you can kind of overstep the boundaries of sexually and, abuse-wise, what is left, really? And the answer is these movies.
Jesus Christ.
The movies that are... They're like Saw without any flash, without any... kind of I guess movie stuff to them. They are just literally watching somebody be disassembled, be taken apart, bit by bit, tortured, and this certainly is one of the worst ones I've ever seen. So I don't know why they do this, and I'm not looking for clarification, but this is also one of those things where I guess this is still technically subjected as porn in Japan, because they blur out the genitalia of both the man and the woman in this, and even with that, I thought, okay, that's gonna at least help a little bit, and no, it don't. It don't at all. It's still up. It's still fucking disgusting. Like, yes, some of the prosthetics do look cheap, and those ones, like when they're cutting off her limbs and stuff, like that all okay. I can see that being fake, but they do this thing where they cut her open at her stomach, and then they make the male actor they make him the hole.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. Oh,
And even before that, there's a whole sequence where the director, the person running this whole operation, is taking a potato peeler and a bunch of other implements of destruction and just like slicing her tongue. And it's like, I don't know, it just, you reach a point where there's just so much violence and gore and just abuse you can put on a person that it's like you're just kind of watching meat, whether it's fake, whether it's real. You're just watching a lot of terrible shit happen, and it just completely numbs you to everything. That was Tumbling Doll of Flesh. Now, I really can't sit here and explain everything that I witnessed in this movie, because doing that would then entail me to sit here for another 20-30 minutes explaining each and everything. Like, they don't hold back. They explore every piece of what you could imagine dissecting a human being could be. And yeah, it's one for the books. Well, there you have it, folks. We have done it again. We've made it to the end of another disturbing movies list. And, you know, I literally sit down and I think to myself every time I go to do one of these, like, I just don't think I'm going to be able to outdo the last thing we did. And somehow we still managed to find some stuff that it surprises me. And hopefully it still surprises you. Definitely, again, thank you so much if you've made it this far into the video. It truly means the world to me that you guys are checking these out, supporting these videos. Again, I certainly have a hard time watching a lot of these. These aren't my favorite movies to sit down and consume, but really what makes this worth it in the end is all the interaction, all the enjoyment, all the funny little gags that I get to create, and you guys just enjoy, and all of your kind words really help get me through this process. So thank you so much. And hey, if you are new here and you're just stopping by the channel for the first time, hey, how's it going? I do appreciate you clicking on this video. And if you could do me a favor, hit that like button if you liked it, hit the hype button if you want to help us reach more people. And of course, if you think we deserve it and you want to come back and see what else we have cooking up in the disturbing movies, the sweat. Is it a soup? A chowder? Point is, if you want to come back, hit that subscribe button. Anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I have for you. I won't keep you waiting much longer for the next one. I have kind of found a way to basically do these so that way I can both balance the mental health side of it as well as get you guys the videos you want to see. So thank you so much. I appreciate it greatly. But with all that said and done, I'm Dylan Newell. And remember, stay scared.
Do the hard shit, gonna do it live. Cause Splattercast kick it every day they live. Splattercast, slash ass. 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 Splattercast, slash ass.